guys, let's have a relaxing evening tonight, and we'll do a Christmas Cookmas video and share a recipe. This is meatloaf, holiday meatloaf. So get your pen and paper. I start out with 2 tablespoons of egg. If you have to use the liquid egg substitute, if you're using a real egg, just 1 egg. A tiny can of the chopped up olives, black olives. 2 tablespoons of breadcrumbs. Half a cup of chopped scallions or onions. Ketchup for the top of the loaf before you bake it, and bacon slices for the top of the loaf before you bake it. Half a teaspoon dried parsley, half a teaspoon of salt, for the teaspoon pepper, 1 tablespoon of milk, a half a teaspoon of minced chopped up garlic, a half a teaspoon of dried basil, and a half a teaspoon dried oregano. 2 pounds of hamburger. And what I do is I mix all together in the bowl the hamburger, egg, milk, and breadcrumbs. Mix that real well. Then I add the chopped up olives and the scallions and mix that real well. Then I add all the seasonings, mix that up real well. And the part you can change for a thinner consistency of your meatloaf is the egg, milk, and breadcrumbs. My husband does not like a wimpy meatloaf. He likes a nice bite to his meatloaf. He's a meat and potatoes guy, so needless to say, I don't use a ton of egg, a ton of milk, a ton of breadcrumbs, but we do know that those 3 things will add light fluffiness to your meatloaf, so you can experiment. I just cover the bottom with tin foil because it's so greasy, and I put a rack on top of the tin foil, mold my hamburger into a loaf, put a couple strips of bacon on top. I do prefer to get 2 slices of bacon cut in half and put 4 slices half across the shorter side of the meatloaf, and then a little bit of ketchup. And of course that's optional. And then bake it at 350 degrees for at least 45 minutes, but I'm always checking it. Of course I keep it covered. It helps to keep the meatloaf moist, and I'm just always checking it. And of course, depending on your oven, it could take longer or less time than 45 minutes, but it's as simple as that. And this recipe originally came from a women's magazine back in the 80s, and I cut out the recipe from the magazine, had it in my drawer forever, up until a couple of years ago when my daughter came home to take care of me and my broken hip. And now I can't find it. So, if your family has not enjoyed meatloaf in the past, this might be a meatloaf they could enjoy, because like I said, it's not wimpy thin. And it has a good hamburger taste to it. And you always have the option with the ingredients to cater to their preference. I've been eating so much lately. I wonder why. He loves meatloaf, corn, mashed potatoes on the side, and a little dinner salad. And you can make your own gravy if you're into that. But in my opinion, I can never make a decent gravy. I think there's just too much fat from the hamburger, so we always use a store-bought gravy. I think I'll title this video Cookmas Recipe #1, because obviously we're way past day #1. Nice if we have a few